Welcome everybody back to the channel. I'm Just Jordan. What's the crack? What's the bleeding scandal with you boys? I hope we're all having a beautiful day as per flipping usual. But back to another golf news of the week video. Today we are focusing on the news of Shane Lowry splitting basically he's fecking sacked. He has sacked Bo Martin, the caddy he's had for the last 5 or 6 years now. To be honest with you, I am very disappointed. Very disappointed. I think Shane started the year so goddamn well. Like, he literally went into the first event of the Abu Dhabi Championship in Dubai, going into the final day, tied for the lead with Molinari and Australia's Minhoo Lee playing very well. He didn't get it done, unfortunately, with I think it was maybe like a level par last round. He didn't play overly great and had a top 10. The week after went out in Dubai again for the Dubai Desert Classic. Unfortunately, he obviously didn't play as well as he did the week before. He missed the cut. And conveniently that weekend, Bo Martin, the caddy he's had literally for the last 5 years since 2018, gets the sack. Now, to be honest, look, I'm not a professional golfer, obviously. But, you know, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I find it very frustrating that when golfers seem to not play very well, I don't know if it's like, you know, I've seen this before, I think maybe with like Rory's caddy. I've seen this before with, I think maybe, it was maybe Adam Scott. A few people that have just conveniently after missing the cut seem to axe their caddy for not, just because they don't play well. Like I said, I'm not a professional golfer. I don't know, maybe something was said, maybe there was a bit of a fight, maybe one of them said, maybe Bo said Lowry needed to play better, maybe step up or something, maybe do something different, and maybe Lowry didn't like that, maybe there was some kind of confrontation, and unfortunately they parted ways. Now, I find that really disappointing because, you know, Bo has been such a pivotal part of Shane's kind of like rise in the last couple of years. Like, he's 21st in the world, and I kind of worry, like, with the new guy he has on the bag, whether, you know, with no disrespect for that guy. His name is Darren Reynolds, by the way. He's from Bray. He's caddying for Shane now for the next, I think, like 5 or 6 events in a row up until the Masters. I worry. I mean, Bo was literally a pivotal part of Shane's kind of career. You know, they literally a year after him, the two of them teaming up, Lowry won the Open Championship at Portrush. Like, he played fantastic, probably the best golf I've ever seen. What did he finish, like 10 over? And he finished, like, apart from Fleetwood, who was a couple of shots back, he was like had loads of shots. He had, you know, there wasn't really anyone who was really kind of going to catch him. You know, Lowry was kind of saying in reports and stuff, you know, how crucial Bo was to winning, you know, the Open Championship, that he was a pivotal part of everything, that he was constantly in his ear. He didn't let him get nervous. He kept him level-headed. He wouldn't stop talking to him. But like I said, I worry for Shane now. He has an important stretch of events coming up. He literally has the he has the Waste Management Phoenix Open, right? This is the first event his new caddy has taken over for him, right? The Waste Management Phoenix Open, which was just, the final round is right now as I'm making this video on Sunday, which will probably, by the time you're watching this, it'll probably be Monday. Lowry finished 9 over par. 9 over par. 7 places off absolute rock bottom. He obviously missed the cut. I don't know what the stat is for, like, if that's Lowry's worst ever finish on the PGA Tour or probably at the Waste Management, but that is terrible. Like, for Lowry's standards to not even kind of make the cut. There were with absolute respect for other PGA players, there's far better players, or far worse players than Lowry, both in ability wise and rankings wise, that made the cut and, you know, have a chance of maybe winning over Lowry. And I'd say he's absolutely gutted. Like, now the caddy he does obviously have experience. His name is Darren Reynolds, as I said. He's from Bray, and he's caddied for Paul McGinley, obviously like one of the best players Ireland's ever produced for like the Ryder Cup and the European Tour. Fortunately, never won a major. Paul Dunn, one of the aspiring Irish golfers once upon a time. Unfortunately, with injuries and stuff, he's kind of tapered off. Still playing, still a young guy. He beat Rory McIlroy in the 2017 British Masters. That was kind of his, and he was leading the Open in 2015 as an amateur. He's caddied for Roger Chapman, who I don't think he's ever won a major in his career, but he has been very good on the senior tour, and he's won 2 majors there maybe about 10 years ago or so. And Frenchman Antoine Rosner, who's a current European Tour player. Reynolds caddied for him around 2021, I think, maybe in like the Dubai kind of, like, I suppose, stretch of events. But like, even then I saw this quote from an Irish article, like, you know, talking to Lowry about, you know, his caddy. And this is a quote that, you know, Lowry said about his caddy when he'd previously kind of stepped in for Bo. They're actually good friends. Bo, there was a certain point where Bo, I think, just had to take a break, or he could caddy for Shane for whatever reason on that week. Reynolds stepped in, and this is exactly what Lowry said about Reynolds. He said, I have a good friend, Darren Reynolds, caddying for me, and I didn't perform with Reynolds for 2 months. I didn't feel I could be myself with Darren. It was all too nice. I'm a competitor. I'm trying to go out there and do my best, and people think, I keep saying people think, but what do I care what people think? Now, he's just saying basically that he's his mate. Maybe he doesn't feel that he can kind of step up and start giving out to him. Obviously, he doesn't feel the kind of same level of comfort he had with Bo. Obviously, for 5 years caddying with Bo, you're going to build up that, you know, that kind of, you know, I suppose that bond with your caddy, that you can have those conversations and it not kind of boil over into something. Maybe with your friend, it's obviously a lot more awkward working with a friend to, you know, maybe give out to them or kind of have constructive criticism maybe in a kind of a, I suppose, in the heat of the moment kind of way, without it being aggressive and, you know, words being said. But like, that's not gonna, like, those words still obviously ring true now in the Waste Management Phoenix Open, with Lowry having such a terrible event. And now, like I said, he has the Genesis Invitational coming up, he has the Honda Classic coming up, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Bay Hill, the Players, and the Masters coming up in the next 5-6 events in a row. Like, there, and that's how long Reynolds will be caddying for Lowry. And I think that's a very important stretch of events in the golfing calendar. Like, obviously then it kicks on again for summer, and, you know, towards the end of the year, the Tour Championship and all that kind of stuff. But like, that's you know, that's kind of where you get your momentum going into the middle of the summer. And, you know, I think Lowry, as such a good iron player as he is, would kind of fancy himself to do well enough in the Masters if he got a bit of a stretch going. And this is a bit of a blip in kind of the start of the season. Now, golfers can obviously pick this up, but yeah, guys, look, like, for me personally, as a Shane Lowry fan, if you haven't noticed already, I just feel that it's kind of, I don't know, I'm just annoyed for Shane. Obviously, he's lost his caddy, maybe something's after going on, but I worry for Shane now going in, because it's almost a transitional period again to essentially find a new caddy going into such an important stretch of the golfing year. But yeah, guys, unfortunately, like I said, that, you know, he's parted with Bo. Whether they get back together, whether they don't, I don't know. Words were said, it doesn't seem like they will be. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this news. Do you think it's good for Shane to have a friend on the bag? You know, we saw this with Rory before, actually, and I don't think that worked out very well either. But let me know down in the comments, guys, below. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you even like Shane Lowry? Or do you think this is a terrible idea? Because it sometimes having a mate on the bag doesn't ever really work out. But I'd love to know, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, guys, if you did enjoy the content. It is always greatly appreciated. But have a brilliant weekend, and take it easy.